Hi, hello. If you're watching this and you're here because of other videos I posted on this channel, I didn't realize how long it would take for me to edit these supercuts. I'm gonna try to get to it by the end of the month. Just be patient. Thank you. I understand if you need to leave now. For everybody else,
reincarnated, I was stargating. Life goes on, honey, and all my babies.
I wanted to react to the Super Bowl performance. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm a visual artist. I've produced live shows before, theatrical things. My background is in film and digital media. I do VR. I like art. I really like art. And I have a lot of friends in my life who keep telling me I should do that in front of a camera instead of behind it. And I'm terrified to do so, but I'm doing it just for you. I just thought it would be really cool to kind of break down why I think it's such a good halftime performance. Anyway, let's get into it.
Woke up looking for the broccoli. I keep a horn on me. That come my seat. I peek ownership. The blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet. Like you nigga couldn't try me in a tri-state. Buddy pass, but I give him splash till he hydrated. Out south, no spook town, eyes dilated. I got the money and the power, both gyrating. I feel
salutations. Just a quick note of the A minor chain. I love to see it. I think I'll talk more about this as the show goes on, but I think one of the things I love about the costuming on this is that everyone has a unique take on the uniform. The blues and reds read really deep and rich. There's a pop to it. There's a saturation to it. Those are some crisp whites. But like that standard performance, I feel like these reds and blues read so rich that it feels intentional to me, if that makes sense.
We ended up kind of heading the production of everything for the custom stuff for the dancers, and typically 100 looks is still a lot to do in 2 weeks. However, this one was like just that much more extra because it wasn't just red, white, and blue. It was all specific Pantone dyed fabric, then cut and sew. Even a purchasable LA Apparel hoodie, you have to make sure that the thread isn't polyester, if the garment's cotton because it won't dye properly. So as simple as it may have felt in its minimalisticness, there was so much work that went into making sure that the monochromatic head-to-toe dyed to match was just that.
I think the richness of the colors, to me, also a reflection of the richness in the skin tone. It makes the skin tones pop in a way that I don't usually get to see and enjoy. I don't know why everybody wants to color grade things to look like nighttime in a desaturated world, but guess what? There's actually color in the real world. And I think we need more of it. That is another video let's say for another day. God, I'm so passionate about so many things.
We go body for body, I hand you a body, I'm probably a better masseuse. Really don't bother nobody, but they run it by me if I got the...
I wouldn't be surprised if you see this again in Kendrick's tour because it's now uniquely damaged, you know? In order to do this gag, you have to destroy that car. So they not only found one that is now more expensive since Kendrick's album came out, but they then destroyed it for this show.
I'm probably a better masseuse. Really don't bother nobody, but they run it by me if I got to clear out the room. You would not get the picture if I had to sit you for hours in front of the Louvre.
A performance like this is the center point of two very different types of medium. The live stage performance and the live televised performance. This performance works on both levels. If you're there in person, you are getting a visual that takes up the entire, shut the fuck up, I know what it's called. If you're there, you're getting a visual experience that takes up the entire football field. It is using every inch of the space available to create the show you're watching. But if you're watching at home, you're getting shots like this that don't just follow the artist, but also use space and depth. This is cinematography. This is the art of understanding the framing. One of the things I lament when I watch some of these performances is that you can tell sometimes people don't think about one aspect or the other. They either are leaning towards the live performance and making it visually appealing to the people in the audience, makes perfect sense, or they're leaning towards the televised audience. I have to wonder what the Weeknd's performance was like if you were actually there. Even the formations that the dancers take, the choreography is shaped to be 360. It's so wherever you are in the space you are seeing. But now, as you play with the different cameras and you block the action that way, you can see the performance happening at all angles. I'm not saying Kendrick invented this, of course. What I'm saying is that this is an excellent use of the space. It's only gonna get nerdier from here. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So if you're like, wow, Jasmine's doing too much, she's really overthinking this shit, this is a great time for you to get off. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the half view that you gave me. Otherwise,
No! Too loud! Reckless, too ghetto! Mr. Lamar! Do you really know how to play this game? Then tighten up!
it's so great. This meta commentary is like maybe my favorite part about all of this. There is a concept, and shout out to FD Signifier for bringing it up and reminding me of it, because I think it's actually really important for understanding why I enjoy this show so much. There's only so much Kendrick was going to be able to do on this stage in terms of like protest art. I understand that everybody wants everybody to start burning shit down. And listen, I'm not here to tell you that what you're feeling is wrong. FD Signifier brought up the concept of the jester's privilege. The idea of any performer, a jester, a comedian, whoever, being in the king's court has a privilege to comment or critique the king because he's in the king's face and the king is hiring you to make him laugh. And in such ways, the artist, the performer, can really call that power to task because he is in that space and he has that opportunity. The jester's privilege, this idea and this broader concept, refer to a thing that's very specific, and we're in a new iteration of this same problem, which is the kingdom's gotten bigger and more existential.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
So now it's not just that this performer has been hired to be in the king's court and can criticize the king because of it. There is now a broader issue, which is this commodification of that critique. It is the fact that the NFL owns these images now and in perpetuity and in all forms of media for all time.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
And so the question then becomes, like, how effective of a stage is this for protest? And to the same point of like FD Signifier's like kind of clickbaity title, it is mid in the way that like it's not gonna be burned down protest art, because burned down protest art in the king's kingdom at this stage of late stage capitalism and technology, and again the constant existential threat we're all feeling and don't really want to acknowledge, can be used in perpetuity forever. So that's maybe not the space to make such protests. What we have instead is imagery. And boy howdy, is this imagery-wise my favorite section. I am obsessed with the one in the red closest with the red dyed hair. I'm obsessed with the fact that they seem to be all men. The richness again in the colors of the red and the blue.
I immediately knew this isn't just making clothes. This is science. The PG Lang team, I have become so wildly respectful for. Their attention to detail is beyond.
A thought, because I saw the casino advertisement in the background, and it just made me think again, yeah, I'm just curious as to what the extent of protest art can be in a space where we're constantly being advertised to at every fucking angle, you know? Again, there's no right or wrong answer, I think, to this. I think we're just talking about a spectrum of experiences and what makes sense and what's most effective. Anywho. I got royalty inside my DNA. Okay, quarter, put the war in peace inside my DNA. Choreography is giving us height and depth and space. This is what the audience would see live. But home, we get something else. Again, simple shit. It's really simple shit, but it's not done enough. It's just not done enough. Thinking about the lighting on this show and like the levels of lighting that there are in this space, you obviously have the lightings in the stadium in and of itself. Obviously, you have the banners of entertainment, you have the people with the cell phones. You're gonna have points of light within the space regardless. Looking at the lights that had to be clear, loaded in, I think they said within like 7 minutes, and then loaded out within 6 minutes. So you got to think economically, what can you do? What's quick to set up? The easy answer in this space would be to just throw up the biggest lights you can and just light the whole thing up. And, you know, there's merit to that. But I think what's really interesting here is instead you get levels of light in the space. You have the stadium lighting all around, but then you also have floor lighting in those like tubes on the ground. It directs your attention. It gives depth and complexity to the image. I'm looking at the use of lighting in this space and like thinking about, again, having to load that in so quickly. You could just throw up big broad lighting and know that everything was going to be exposed. But like in this way, you get, again, an understanding of the frame and the visual, especially for the home audience.
Have you ever brought your enemy down with a poker face?
Can we talk about Kendrick Lamar and like flow state, right? Like when different people call it different things. Flow state, in the zone, in my bag, locked in. There are definitely spiritual practices that tap into the same idea. Will you just kind of know you that nigga and you right where you supposed to be in the alignment of the world and your purpose on this planet? That's what it looked like. That's before anything else, before Drake. There's an assurance in that, Glenn. And I love it. I love it. I'm affirmed in it. I receive the testimony of it. You know what I mean?
Burn this thing down, don't you play with me, stay with me. Crashing out right now, it ain't safe for me. Did it with integrity. These boys try to hate on me, just wait and see. More blood be spilling, it's just pain to me.
Talk about the stage. Again, those mid-level lights are made to look like light poles, so that acts as a new set within this broader set. There is constant movement throughout this show. There is walls, within framing, within inner framing. I keep mentioning depth for a reason. A lot of the boredom we have with the visuals that we see in movies and TV is the use of green screen. And it's not just the problem with green screen can be cheap, but it's also a problem of creating a sense of true depth in an image. We know there's a screen and therefore they can't get further back without there being something computer generated to make that effect happen. It's not the same as something tactful.
Stick together, kids. Make sure you're holding the hand of the person in front and behind you.
So this show, which is again a live performance that is also live to tape, live to camera, has to figure out how to reuse and be economical with the space. And instead of bringing in just 4 moving walls that bring together a pretty cool looking translucent red cube, what if instead it was in that plus sign X shape? And now you have depth. And now you also have more space, not just for the dancers to play back and forth, but now cameraman can stand center and spin right along with them without having to bring in too much production. It can be closed and feel like a new set within this larger set. The S shape is again using the depth of space, noticing the shifting of lights and now we're creating more silhouette with the dancers coming behind them. Again, it's giving texture to the frame. It is, again, remembering both audiences that need to be served in such a performance.
Mama, Solana.
Does this not look like a funeral march to you?
What's that on a beat, bro? Deep boat in rap. He a freak though, man down. Call like Amber Lambs. Tell him breathe. Let them boys to the cross. They walk around like.
So thinking about the narrative of the whole performance at this point in terms of like production, the set has gone from these individualized shapes, the circle, the triangle, the X, and now we are lighting up the entire space. The dancers are in a circle around him. And what I love about the dancers and their wardrobe is that it reflects the way that it's both a uniform group, but then there's also individuality. It ebbs and flows throughout the show. Sometimes everybody's perfectly in sync. Sometimes some sections and colors are doing different things that other sections and colors aren't doing. And sometimes everybody's just doing their own fucking thing. But then, because you're using these different elements and different frequencies of performance at different times, when it does sync together.
Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1.
When are the dancers in sync? When are the dancers in sync with Kendrick?
That tuck torment in love. Just make sure you hide your little sister from him.
When is the one time that all the lights come on? It's the fucking Super Bowl. You don't think they can't flood that space with light? They can. And they did it for one moment.
A minor.
Notice that we're at the end. We're at the climax of the show. This is now the entire space is activated. We've hit the lights. We've seen the whole space. And now all of the stages that have been throughout this show are activated.
Turn his TV off. 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 Turn his.
National Football League and Apple Music, thank you for watching the Super Bowl 59 halftime show.
And bitch, you're welcome, actually. You're welcome for that. So yeah, those are my thoughts. You are more than welcome and in fact invited to share some of your own thoughts, things I may have missed, things I don't know, shit I said that I was wrong about. Go ahead. Please be nice to me though. Y'all be mean on the internet and I'm real fucking sensitive, okay?
Now keep in mind that I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
I wanted to just put this together real quick with my quick little thoughts because I love art in all ways and forms and functions, which is why the other half of this YouTube channel right now is this compilation of clips from a show called Dimension 20. We're gonna get back to that. Don't even worry. Thank you for watching if you were there for those videos and not this one. But I think this space, this channel will eventually evolve, or is going to evolve into a space where I just talk about things I'm really passionate about in the broader media space. I think there are so many cool things happening, but we are so siloed that we don't know it's happening, or we don't necessarily have full context or depth to truly appreciate it. So this will be a space where I do some of that, and I'll make jokes and be cute and make a living out of this in this new era techno hell we find ourselves in. Like, comment, and subscribe. Why can't I do nothing serious?
Don't mess this up.